The future of a federal agent now in the hands of a jury. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Akana. Closing arguments are over in the murder trial of Special Agent Christopher Deedy, and jurors are left with two choices: convict him of murder or set him free. KITV4's Laura Yamada has been covering this trial since day one. And Laura, I understand that we just got word the jurors have ended deliberations for the day.
Just a few minutes ago, Paula. After jury instructions this morning, attorneys spent about an hour each on their closing arguments. Then jurors had about 3 hours left to deliberate before the end of the day. The courtroom packed with family members, media, and court watchers, even a line outside hoping to witness the end of 20 days of testimony. Now 12 men and women are tasked with deciding whether the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Agent Deedy's actions equal a life behind bars.
Self-defense and the defense of others by a law enforcement officer. That's what this case is about.
No matter how thorough the training, if that training is subverted by pride and unchecked ego, then the concept of serve and protect goes out the window.
In the words of Deputy Prosecutor Janice Futa, it was the highly trained law enforcement officer versus the loud, obnoxious kid.
But being loud is not a crime.
In closing arguments in Special Agent Christopher Deedy's murder trial, both sides zeroed in on the spark that ignited the fight and how it escalated into tragedy.
Add to that alcohol and inexperience, and the mix you get is what the defendant is here, driven by his sense of hubris, nothing more than a bully with a badge.
There is no doubt that Special Agent Deedy shot and killed Colin Elders. That's a fact and nobody disputes it. But that does not mean that Special Agent Deedy murdered Colin Elders. Special Agent Deedy's intent was not to kill Colin Elders. His intent was to protect life. His intent was to stop the threat.
Defense attorneys walked jurors through surveillance video one more time, highlighting what they believe is proof Deedy followed his training every step of the way.
Restraint. That's what we see over and over again from Special Agent Deedy when he's confronted by Colin Elders, is restraint.
But despite the kicks to Deedy's friend Adam Gutowski, the blows by Elderts, attorneys argued whether ultimately Deedy had had the choice to simply walk away.
What kind of law enforcement officers do we want in society? We don't want them to walk away. The prosecution wants him to retreat. That's not what is good for society.
And I would ask you this in turn: is this the kind of law enforcement officer you want walking around your Honolulu, your Waikiki? Some guy who sees another guy in a fist fight and thinks that he can pull his gun and blow that person away.
Now, shockwaves earlier this week when attorneys and Judge Ahn agreed jurors would not be able to consider lesser charges such as manslaughter. As for murder or acquittal, jurors must reach a unanimous agreement. Otherwise, we could be facing a hung jury, and that could mean a new trial. For the time being, jurors have a long weekend. They'll resume deliberations Monday morning.